Hey everyone, Harbz here, back again. Going to be reviewing my Week 10 on Draftkings. It was a very bad week for me again, sadly. Let's not make a habit out of this. A lot of my plays ended up missing. I had a few that hit, but it didn't really matter because they were on teams with a bunch of busted plays. So I'm going to talk through a lot of my process decisions for the week, where I went wrong, any mistakes I made. Let's start off right in cash. So this is my cash team. I played one cash team this week. Ended up going McCown to Herndon. I'll talk about that first because that's obviously the most differentiated thing in my cash team. Herndon I thought was a fine play at 3,100. Good salary relief. Also, tight end was very thin. Unless you're going Kelsey, there's really no safety. Maybe xHarbz, but I didn't really like him again this week. And honestly, Herndon's been getting decent market share targets in the red zone. Before the game against the Bills, he had 3 touchdowns in his last 4 games. So take from that what you will. Obviously, touchdowns are high variance, but I also kind of played into the fact that McCown might like to target his tight end a bit more. I remember last season he threw to Austin Seferian-Jenkins quite a bit. And the Bills were kind of a neutral matchup, slightly below average matchup, but the Jets were at home. The Bills really should be demotivated at this point with, I think it's their 3rd QB starting, maybe it's their 4th with Barkley. They really shouldn't have much motivation, and I also thought that the Bills could turn it over a lot and give McCown some scoring opportunities with Herndon. Just the salary relief they provided at 4,300 and 3,100 respectively was pretty crucial, due getting in a lot of other plays that I thought could do well, and didn't end up working out, and maybe you could argue that this isn't optimal construction. I know Adam Levitan likes to talk about upside this year and how you want your cash plays to have upside, and honestly I think McCown and Herndon did have upside. I thought Herndon could get easily 15 to 20, not easily, okay, but he could get 15 to 20, which is huge. That's 5x plus at his 3,100 salary, and I thought McCown could get 20. Obviously, you can work with 12. That won't kill you, which is fine for a floor, and 20 would be nice. That's 5x. Ended up getting 3.8. The game really did not go as I expected it to. The Bills just dominated time possession and everything else. Barkley looked good. Honestly, somewhat unpredictable, which I suppose you can say you want to get the higher floors in cash, but it allowed me to get in a lot of other plays that I liked. So I think it's close. I think maybe I could have pivoted down from one of the wide receivers to the cheap guy in the Redskins, blanking on his name right now, Maurice Harris, right? And gone up from McCown there, maybe to Jared Goff or maybe to Baker Mayfield or something like that. But I think I like this construction best. I was obviously trying a bunch of different constructions and landed on this one. So anyway, let's talk about Kareem Hunt. I thought he was just in a great matchup. Arizona's been terrible against running backs. Huge home favorites. Obviously, just a great spot for him. Didn't end up getting really any targets and didn't score any touchdowns. So when that happens, it's not going to be a good day for Kareem Hunt. How many attempts did he get? Only 16 attempts, so not that great. The problem was the Chiefs scored from far out with Tyreek Hill twice, and when that happens, Kareem Hunt's not going to do that great. I think it was fine from a process standpoint. 8,500 is getting a bit expensive, but I realistically thought he was going to get 25 plus a lot of the time, so I think it's a fine play. Dion Lewis, I kind of use as a blocker, and it's a decent play because I knew his touch projection was going to be there. He's going to get a lot of the work, but I didn't really love the play against the Patriots, and I thought Mike Davis was stronger once the news got announced later, so I thought I tinkered with construction a bit and had Mike Davis here trying to upgrade in other spots at defense, maybe quarterback, but ended up keeping Dion because of the blocker potential, and he got all the touches, so not all the touches. Yeah, I know Derrick Henry got a few goal line ones, etc., but it's just a fine play from a process standpoint. Didn't end up working out, but he was 66.9% owned, didn't kill you. Tyler Boyd, I thought, was an amazing spot where the Saints' defense wasn't that great. Adrian Green's out, so he's going to see even more market share, maybe by like 3 or 4%, 5%. And it's just a spot where he should score most of their points, touchdowns, get most of their yards. And the Bengals, of course, come out and lay an egg. I really hate Marvin Lewis and the way he attacks other teams like the Saints. Oh, they just looked atrocious in this game. So I had a lot of Tyler Boyd across every team. And I just think it's fine from a process standpoint. Once again, you might say his price is too expensive. I would disagree. I thought he had realistic 35-point upside in this game. And once they were trailing by so much, I really thought he was going to start getting targeted even more. Didn't end up happening, obviously, but I think it's fine. Josh Gordon, I don't know about this in cash, really. He was just the receiver I felt most comfortable with Gronk out. And he just dropped so many balls. It was brutal if you watched that game. I mean, 4 catches on 12 targets. He just looks like his hands are not there. Something's not there. I don't know. It's kind of brutal. No touchdowns, of course. I mean, the Patriots came out and laid an egg, too, so just a few things that I didn't expect to happen. Obviously, it's dangerous projecting game flow and game script, but I expected the market share to be there once again. MVS, thought about Maurice over him, of course. I thought he was just in a solid spot against Miami. I liked Aaron Jones as well because Miami's a bad run defense, but I thought with Xavier Howard shadowing Devontae Adams, Marcus Valdes-Scantling had decent touchdown upside and good market share of target equity. Ended up getting 10.4. Not a good play again. I think I probably could have gotten off this one, but I thought it was fine. Slight mistake there, I'll say. Herndon, then Melvin Gordon. I couldn't afford Gurley, sadly, but I thought the projections were close enough where I go Gordon. And Bucks D at min with the Redskins missing basically their whole offensive line. Yeah, cash was pretty brutal this week. Got massacred, obviously didn't cash in 50-50s and double-ups and lost most of my head-to-heads. Let's move on to the Tiers Wildcat. Got last place in this. Once again, think my process is pretty solid. Mahomes in Tier 1. Just a lock to play Mahomes and Gurley pretty much if they're on the board. Dalton in Tier 2. I thought Dalton was going to have to throw a lot to Tyler Boyd, who I paired with him in Tier 5. Didn't end up working out there. Keenan Allen in Tier 4. Who's the other Tier 4 option? Tyreek. I mean, I thought about using Tyreek, but ended up thinking Hunt would score most of the points, and Hunt was in Tier 3, so I couldn't use him. So, used Keenan Allen. Decent spot for him against the Raiders. Tevin Coleman in Tier 6. I mean, if you watched that game and you had Tevin Coleman, you were probably tilting out of your mind. He got so many goal line carries at like the 1 and got stuffed so many times. Oh, it was just brutal. I don't even know what to say. Just absolutely terrible. Right play from a process standpoint. Cleveland's terrible against the run. Atlanta trailing. Another thing didn't really expect. I thought they could lose the game, to be honest, but it's pretty brutal. Cooper Kupp, Tier 7. I thought about going Duke Jones in here, but Kupp just ended up having to save her floor. I swapped last second to him. Kind of wish I kept Duke now. It wouldn't have mattered, obviously, but Duke was just a great play against the Falcons D that just hemorrhages points to running backs, especially pass-catching ones. And then MVS in Tier 8, you really needed Aaron Jones, who went off for 35.2. I never considered Zeke in Tier 5, and that ended up costing me a lot in primetime later, too, which we'll talk about briefly. Anyway, on to the Millie Maker. 23 teams in this, cashed exactly one team, which was a Rivers, Ingram, and Aaron Jones. 2 of the plays I got right this week somewhat. Wish I had more of them together. I had a lot of Ingram and Tevin Coleman together. Tyler Boyd, a lot of Tyler Boyd. Josh Gordon, a lot of Josh Gordon. LaFell to kind of run it back in the Chargers game. Kelsey, because I could pay up a tight end. Keenan Allen and Bears D. I think it's a solid team from a construction standpoint. Let's look at the worst team I made. 71.128. Dalton, Tevin Coleman, Hunt, Boyd, Gordon, Jarvis Landry, Ben Watson, MVS, Bucks team. I think I like the team. Maybe outside of MVS, maybe outside of Watson, but tight end was thin. Well, I think I like this team too. Let's look at some other teams. Mike Davis, Melvin Gordon team with Cooks, Gordon Harris, Kelsey, MVS, Bucks. Trey Burton on this one, McCown, Gurley and Melvin Gordon and Hunt. Just brutal week there. And then let's look at Prime time quickly in the luxury box, the 1500 buy-in. Pace out top 3. I got 4th. Didn't have Zeke. Ended up using Saquon over him. And I was the one person that played Eli, which I thought was kind of sharp. Obviously, Wentz got there late in the second half. So did Zeke. Oh, it was just disgusting. Because after the first half of that game, Wentz and Zeke were combining for like probably 10. Ended up combining for about 65. Oh, just completely brutal. Probably would have won this. I liked my team, honestly. Without Alshon, I could have gone cheap wide receiver here. Or not cheap wide, sorry. I could have gone Zeke and then more expensive wide receiver here. Not that there really was anyone. Actually, sorry. Stumbling around here, but could have upgraded Smallwood to Breida, who ended up going off. And gone with a mid-priced wide receiver here and then Zeke here. And that would have been pretty nutty, but I like my construction here. It's just Zeke ended up going off, and I did not think he was going to go off. Really did not have much Zeke at all, if any. And then ended up screwing me because Zeke got... Where is it? Oh, the first place didn't even play Zeke either because he played Breida, who got 31.2. So it's pretty legit. Zeke got 39.7. And punted off 1,500 there, and had 4 teams, which was the max, and the Wildcat bricked them all. Best team was Wentz, Saquon, Breida, Cooper, Jeffrey, Shepard, Ertz, Ingram, Giants. Used Saquon over Odell in this game, so of course Odell had the better game. Needed to use Zeke at running back and Odell in for Alshon, and this would have been a sweet team, but... So, bricked all 4 of these in the Wildcat. Chess is okay. Took it but down first and second. He had some sick teams. I remember thinking after the first night that he was going to win it, and he ended up doing it. So, that was the week. Just so many spots where just ran pretty terribly. Got to keep in mind various things for these tournaments, and they're so top-heavy, so just got to keep your head up and keep playing.